Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your producer for the evening, Harrison F. Daws, and I'm joined by our Commander in Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, past Commander in Chief, Jason Boshears, Lieutenant Commander in Chief, Tony Griffin, and past Chief of Heritage Operations, Ron Kennedy.
Thank you, Harrison. Appreciate you so much. And that is Harrison Daws, our Deputy Chief of Heritage Operations. And he and Connor are really doing a great job in media and media promotion. We spent a little time before we came on air talking about some of the things that we're hoping to do shortly in the future with some internet ads and for the SCB and that sort of thing. So that is what we're hoping to do soon, and we will get started on that. All right, tonight, first thing I want to do is just kind of bring y'all up to snuff. I don't know if y'all been listening to the news any, but if you've noticed, a lot of people on the news, and these are conservatives, neoconservatives, I call them. They've been saying that people like Tim Walsh is a second Jefferson Davis. They're talking about all the things that's going on in these blue cities and blue states. It's just like a new Confederacy. In other words, they're trashing our heritage. I'm holding up here Imprimis. If y'all get that, it's a nice little magazine or broadside that's put out by Hillsdale College, a conservative outfit, but they are Yankee all the way. In this issue I just received in the December issue, they spent a lot of time trashing Vallandigham and Copperheads and comparing them to people like Tim Waltz and people like that. The point is that I'm trying to make here is not just the neo-Marxists who are attacking Southern culture and Southern heritage. It's all of them. We are the only sane voice for the South. And if we don't make our voice heard, it just simply won't get heard. So I'm here tonight to encourage our camp members, our camps, and those who love the South to let's get busy and let's get our message out. And there are many ways we can do that. Sometimes we think, if I'm not on national TV pontificating about the greatness of the South, I can't get anything done. Yes, you can. There are several things that we can do. One of the things you can do, every one of you that are listening, that are SCB members or friends of the SCB, or you subscribe to the Confederate Veteran, you get the Confederate Veteran. There are postcards in there. Those postcards make a difference. Sign them, put a stamp on, mail them, get them to these people. If I remember correctly, in our next issue, there is a postcard that will be going to, of all places, Hillsdale College, and telling them, hey, there's another side to this story. You need to listen to our side, at least be honest and give our side of the view of the South, the Confederacy, etc. Hillsdale College, if they only get 50 to 100 of those cards, they're not going to give it a second thought. If they get 1,000 and 2,000, that kind of might be a little bit interesting to them. If they get 10 to 20 or 30,000 of those postcards, it will make an impression. And the point is that we will begin to get our name out there, and people will start asking the Sons of Confederate Veteran for our view. So those cards are absolutely essential. Another thing, camp members, when your camp does an event, don't just go to the cemetery, clean the cemetery up and take a picture and put it in your camp newsletter. That's good. But also take that same photograph, tell the people who you are and what you've done, and mail it to your political establishment, mail it to people who are interested in Southern history or in history in general. Let people know who you are. Y'all know that this year we've got an election coming up that's very, very important. The Sons of Confederate Veterans has a 30-second patriotic get out the vote ad. Every SCV camp needs to spend $100, $200, $300 and run these get out the vote ad. This is non-political. It doesn't say get out and vote for this candidate or that candidate, or don't vote for this or don't. It simply states that that we, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, being a patriotic veterans organization, encourage all Americans to get out and vote. Your vote counts. The Sons of Confederate Veterans encourages you to go vote. Now, that does two things. That stimulates people to go vote. It also lets the general public know that there's an organization out there called the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and they are a veterans organization that's a patriotic organization. And Ron, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who else do you think might hear that ad?
Well, the politicians just might hear it, and they may be a little concerned. Potential supporters will also hear it and become more likely to support us. And out of that bulk of supporters, we get new members. So it's just not one thing. It really ramps up. Our politicians will hear it. Potential politicians will hear it. Business people who might decide they want to go woke, or they're afraid to have the SCV camp meet in their establishment, they will hear it. It will bring our message to your community, and that's what we're all about.
There you go. There you go. In a little bit, we're going to ask our Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, Tony Griffin, to tell us about the Billboard project we got that we're pushing this year. And we're also going to be pushing yard signs, little small yard signs you can put in your yard. You can put it to crossroads. I think I've told y'all before, I found one about 9 months ago that I didn't set up from last year. I went and put it out on a major intersection here in North Louisiana. I put that thing out sometime around October, thinking, well, surely it'll last a week or two. Driving to West Monroe this afternoon, that sucker was still there. As a matter of fact, the people who cut the grass for the state, they'll pick it up, move it, cut the grass, then put it back. So, I don't know, that there's somebody that likes what that sign says. If we can get these signs across the South in your yards, at intersection, it gets our name out. It lets people know who we are. We've got billboards going up, and Tony's going to talk about that shortly. We also have coming up soon, I think Ron will be talking about this shortly, is the Confederate Legion has sponsored Confederate veteran magazines. At your camp, there's a certain number. If you'll get in the line before they run out, we'll give you the Confederate veteran magazine, and you can mail those magazines to people that you know in your community that are probably interested in history, politics, government, or the South. Those are the people that are not members, but you send them the magazine, and guess what? They may decide, hey, I need to join that organization. So there's a lot that we can do. Don't think that these little things are insignificant. If you clean up a cemetery, and right now here in North Louisiana, I just talked to one of the members of my camp. We got a lot of cemetery cleaning up to do because of the ice storm. Or if you clean a cemetery, if you clean a tombstone, take a picture of that. Don't just swap it around your own camp, but put it in the newspaper, offer it to the newspaper, email it to your elected officials. There are many ways that you can influence people. So do this. We've got to give our message out. We've got to be the one that tell our side of the story. Otherwise, people like Victor David Hanson, who just wrote an article, just absolutely, it almost vulgar, condemning the Confederacy and the South and Lee and Davis, etc. And he's a, quote, conservative. And then you get people like I heard the senator from New York, can't think of his name. Ron, what's his name? The New York senator. Somebody help me out.
AOC?
Huh?
You're not talking about AOC, are you?
The senator. She's a representative.
Right.
What's his name? Anyway, y'all. He's
Don't matter.
the head.
He's a Yankee.
Yeah, he's a Yankee. He's a majority leader in the Senate, Democratic Senate. He just blasted the South.
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. Thank you. Finally, my brain kicked in, my spare brain.
Oh, didn't Roy Watson, Walton, rather, or is that Ray Walton? Just let you know what the name is.
Schumer, yeah. Well, I see Chuck, Lloyd Mott, yeah. But anyway, he blasted in talking about the voter ID. He tried to compare that to the South and Jim Crow and just slandering the South. The South is the whipping boy of America. We're the guy that's always held up, say, you don't want to be like these evil people. That's the message that the left and the right is passing out to future generations of Americans. So if you want your children to respect the South, if you want your children to respect you and what you're doing now, fellow members of the SCV, let's make sure that our camps are busy getting our information out. So with that said, I've pontificated enough on that. I usually do, and I do it because, gentlemen, it's important. If Jason, if we don't toot our horn, what happens?
Give me a minute to unmute myself. If we do not toot our own horn, it goes untooted.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Jason. If we don't toot our own horn, the same shall go untooted. We've got to tell our side of the story. And unfortunately, we can't get on national TV, but we don't have to, because we have the ability at the local level to do so much to counter the narrative. Our people want to feel good about their past. All we got to do is give them a good reason to do so. Okay, with that said, let's look at some upcoming events. I want to take care of that, and then I'm going to get Ron to give us an update on the Stephen D. Lee lecture series. All right, first thing, upcoming event. April the 28th. That's the end of this month. The Stephen D. Lee Institute will be held in Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. And I want you to take a look at some of these speakers we got here. Thomas DiLorenzo. Anybody who really wants to learn something about Lincoln, Thomas DiLorenzo is the guy that really got it started, really big time. I think his The Real Lincoln and Lincoln Unmasked was just absolutely wonderful. He is a great speaker. You don't want to miss interacting with Dr. Thomas DiLorenzo. Also, we have Dr. Jeffrey Adicott. Dr. Adicott has done some marvelous work showing how the Yankees were so atrocious and treated Southerners during the war. He's written several books. He's a professor, I think, at St. Mary's University School of Law in Austin, or is it Austin or San Antonio, Texas? And a great speaker and a great friend of the South. He is also very, very dynamic. Wanjuri Joya. She is from Kenya. Yeah, Kenya. This young lady, she has a PhD from, I think it's Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. She was a Rhodes Scholar. And she was more or less asked to leave England because she was condemning the people who was trying to attack Western Christian civilization. And she was really a bulwark against the neo-Marxists and their attack on Western Christian civilization. And she came to the United States. She said when she got here, she found out they were doing the same thing to the Confederacy. So guess what? She's a #1 defender of the South and the rights of the South. She has the Walter E. Williams Chair, research chair at the Von Mises Institute in Auburn, Alabama. So you definitely want to hear her. She is a very, very dynamic speaker. She has a story to tell. And of course, our Chief of Heritage Operation, Paul Graham, he's going to serve as our Masters of Ceremony. He is also author of several good books. and by Shotwell. He works with Shotwell Publishing Company, and he is our master of ceremony. And of course, as I said, he's chief of heritage operation for the SCV. And somebody called Ron Kennedy. I see Donnie Kennedy. They'll also be speaking. So we look forward to seeing y'all at the Stephen D. Lee Institute. So by all means, come on down, folks. Be part of this event. Okay, on April the 25th. Oh, I skipped a month here. March the 6th and the 7th is our General Executive Council meeting, GEC meeting at headquarters. And as always, it's open to the public. Not to the public, to membership, excuse me. It's open to membership. Seating is available. Obviously, we got to have the GEC in the room. And once we fill up with the GEC, if we have spare room, you're more than welcome to attend and see what's going on with your General Executive Council. The General Executive Council is the people that you elect to run the SCV. So during times before after the convention, before the convention is held. So by all means, that's March the 6th and 7th. We'll be there. By all means, show up if you can. Now, on April the 25th in Montgomery, Alabama, man, the first capital of the Confederate States of America, we will be holding a celebration there. And the good thing about this, we'll be doing the presentation almost on the spot that President Jefferson Davis was sworn in as the provisional president of the Confederacy. Everybody should know or should remember that President Davis was sworn in twice, once as the provisional president, and then once the Constitution was adopted and secured, he was then sworn in as the president of the Confederate States of America. So as provisional president, he was sworn in there in Montgomery, Alabama. It's not far, folks, from the first White House of the Confederacy. So you can visit both the Capitol there and also the first White House of the Confederacy. And we need to support these places that are supporting us. Beauvoir is a great place. The White House, the first White House of the Confederacy. We can name several others if we have time. Ron and I are going to tell you a little bit about Rosemont down in Woodville, Mississippi. So there's places like that we need to know about and need to support. So by all means, on April the 25th, Montgomery, Alabama, we will be there. Listen, our annual pilgrimage and homecoming, May the 2nd, we'll be having at headquarters. Now, this is going to be a special event because we will be dedicating the memorial bench to H.K. Edgerton, and also his plaque, a paver that he'll be enrolled as on the 21st Century Confederate Heroes Trail there, walkway. So by all means, come for that event. And by the way, we are raising money right now. I went online just a few minutes ago and made a pledge there to the HK. You can go, all you need to do is go to scv.org. As soon as the screen open up, look all the way to the right where it says donate, hit donate, and scroll down. You'll see HK's picture there with holding the Confederate flag in his Confederate uniform. Donate to that, and let's get this memorial bench and his paver all put together. It's going to be there on the walkway near the Forest Plaza. And I think that he would really be honored to know that we are doing that for him. And I'm hoping, if all goes well, we will have on that memorial bench a picture, either the one you see there on when you go to donate, with him in his Confederate uniform holding the Confederate flag on that memorial bench. So let the world know who he was and that he was a strong supporter of the South. So by all means, and didn't tell you this, and I don't think I've told anybody yet, but we're going to have a special guest speaker at our memorial service at the Pilgrimage and Heritage homecoming there on May the 2nd, and that will be Teresa Rowan. So she'll be there. Some people say Roan, I always call her Rowan. Teresa Rowan. She'll be there. She's a well-known lady that has been a strong defender of the cause of the South. So by all means, let's show up at that event and get some donations out. If HK, if he walked through your state, if he was visited your camp, by all means, y'all need to donate for this. I walked across the top of Louisiana and from the Mississippi to the Texas border with HK, as well as many other people from Louisiana. It was an honor. That man, he never backed down, regardless of who he faced. And I've told this story before. He walked into the middle of Grambling State University, an all-black university, in that Confederate uniform, carrying that Confederate flag and manly defending that flag. And he kept telling them, this is not a racist symbol. It's our flag, our people defending. We need to be proud of this. He didn't back down. So let's don't let him down. Donate to that memorial bench in his paper, and let's get this done. Now, one other thing, we'll move on to something else. Don't forget, I think it's July the 15th to the 18th at Lexington, Kentucky, our 131st reunion. We will have that in Lexington, Kentucky. You can go to your Confederate Veteran magazine, and I think somewhere close to the center of the magazine, and they've got a lot of information about the reunion in Lexington. I can remember years and years ago, I wish I could remember exactly when, the last time we had a reunion, and I believe it was in Lexington. I know it was in Kentucky, and I think it was in Lexington, and it was a great event. That's a beautiful, beautiful place up there. You don't want to miss this. And come April, starting April, May, June, and July, we will have a representative from Kentucky to speaking to us, bring us an update on what's going on, what needs to be done, etc. For the reunion. We did this the last time when Texas, when we was in Houston, and we'll do the same thing for the Kentucky boys, and so that they can get everybody up to snuff and know what's going on, etc. Now, enough said about that. I'm running out of time here. Ron, do you want to give us a quick update on the SD Lee lectures? And after that, Harrison, you want to take a quick break and then we'll finish up? Is that okay with you? Okay, Ron, give us a little on the Stephen Lee Institute.
Real quick, you've already gone over. Put up the slides. I just want everybody to see that we're working, the speakers are working on those slides, and we're talking about the Declaration of Independence and the impact that the war, Lincoln's War and the Republicans' Reconstruction had upon the Declaration of Independence, and how the Declaration of Independence is key to the Constitution, the original Constitution. And this is just two of my slides. I just want to see we're working on it. It's going to be a great presentation. The other speakers are the great presentations. You'll have to sit through and listen to Donald and I. Go ahead and take that down, Moose. I just want to let everybody know that we are working on that diligently to have you a great time, great speakers. And remember, the Declaration of Independence is the foundation on which the Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, and then the Constitution was built. That's what the founding fathers gave to us via the sovereign states that finally gave it the ultimate authority. And we'll also talk about modern America's founding father, which was Abe Lincoln. But at any rate, it's going to be a great meeting. And very quickly, I want to say that to Troy Freeman in the chat, he wants some information about Louisiana joining. I think someone's already got to him. If not, Troy, just go ahead and contact Moose, and Moose can get you in contact with me. With that, let's go to a break, Donald.
That sounds good to me. If Harrison, if you can take us to a quick break and we'll get started, because our Lieutenant Commander in Chief and Jason has got a lot to say. Jason's going to give us an update on the Forest Plaza, and our Lieutenant Commander in Chief, Commander Griffin, was going to tell us a little bit about our Billboard campaign. So let's get her out of here.
Sounds good, Commander. And, of course, tonight's commercial break is sponsored by scvchat.com, where you can find the most recent episode of Commander's Comments, our live episodes, our archives, our T-shirt store, and so much more. So please check us out over there. And, of course, SCV Chat is on Patreon. Help us stay on the air and help us reclaim the narrative 1 week at a time on Patreon. For $2.50 a month, you can feed a moose. That's general support and some background or some behind the scenes stuff. $10 a month, you become a real chat head. You get your name put at the end of every episode, and of course more behind the scenes content. For $30 a month, you can become a member of our merch tier. We get merchandise that not even me and Connor get as the owners of SCV Chat.
Right.
And of course, you can sponsor us at $80 a month on Patreon as well, like the following gentlemen have. Have you tweaked your knee recently? Have you fallen off a fence? Do you just feel sick all of a sudden? Well, go check out Dr. Chris Cummins in Oxford, Mississippi. He'll make you feel good and treat you with some great Southern hospitality, so you want to skip that apple and go see the doctor. You can go check him out at his new office, 401 Heritage Drive, Suite 111. And, of course, also go check out past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney's latest book, Paradox of Freedom, which explores the little-known history of free Black slaveholders in the South, challenging the conventional ideas of race, freedom, and power. Reviews included current Commander-in-Chief Donnie Kennedy, who praised it for it shedding light on an overlooked chapter of American history. Discover this and Larry's other titles: In Defense of Beauregard, Gunboats, Rivers, and Bayous and Railroads, On to Vicksburg, the Mississippi Central Railroad Campaign, and the Yazoo Pass Expedition, a Union thrusted into the Delta. And our last sponsor for this evening is 31st Regiment Engraving. For meaningful pieces that honor your ancestors to fantastic door prizes for events, you truly get high quality craftsmanship. And let me tell you, they do great work. I have this memorial band to honor my ancestor. It's one of the greatest purchases I make. It reminds me why I do this every single day. And you can trust Todd over there in the California division with your business. We want to thank all our sponsors for keeping us on the air, and we will be right back after this quick Pop-Tart break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
One last time, we would like to thank our sponsors scrolling at the bottom of the screen and welcome you back to Commander's Comments.
Thank you, Harrison. That was great. I always enjoy seeing that ad, that video. And like I've said before, if we keep pushing things, gentlemen, one day that or a similar ad, it would probably have to be cut down to 1 minute, will be seen on Newsmax and Fox. But we've got to get our numbers up. We've got to recruit. We've got to retain. We've got to let the world know we're out there. Newsmax and Fox, they really don't even know we're out there. If they do, they don't pay that much attention to them. Hopefully some of these postcards going in and some of the things that we're doing will change things. Now, I do want to give a shout out to David Pope. He said that everything looked brisk but nice and clean up there in Knoxville, Tennessee. David, try to keep it that way because I'll be leaving North Louisiana in the morning about 6 o'clock, driving towards Knoxville. I'll probably stop somewhere around Chattanooga and then make the last leg on in. I'll be speaking at the Longstreet Zollicoffer or Zollicoffer. You got me. Don't tell me about Darbone being a hard name to pronounce, Moose. but this is a good one. But anyway, I look forward to being up there, and hopefully, Brother Pope, you can make it. I'd love to visit with you some. So I will be up there then. So I've been all over the Confederation. Last weekend during the snowstorm, I had to leave Oxford, Florida. It was 73 degrees when I left. By the time I got to North Louisiana up to my home, it was like 17 degrees. It took me, well, let's just put it like this. The last 90 miles of my drive, I was driving maybe 20 miles an hour just to stay on the interstate. And I was the only one on the interstate. Every now and then saw somebody, but it was something else. But thanks be unto God, I made it without any difficulty other than my knuckles just wore out hanging onto the steering wheel. And but we never lost electricity here, but in West Monroe, they really had it bad there. It looked like a war zone. So anyway, my thanks to the prayers, and especially I want to say thank you to the folks in the Oxford, Florida camp and the UDC there. They just bent over backwards to see that I got to speak to them and got to hawk some books, and they let me get out of there early. If I'd left an hour later, I would have probably been stuck on Interstate 20. It was that bad. So I appreciate them so much, and I'm looking forward to being in Knoxville coming up this weekend. That would be a pleasure to be up there. Okay. Let's now talk a little bit. Tony, I'm going to throw it to you and let you tell us a little bit about the upcoming Billboard drive coming in April and see what's going on there. So our Lieutenant Commander in Chief, Tony Griffin.
All right. Thank you, Commander. Once again, this year, we're going to try to do the Billboard campaign. We've had it pretty successful first season last year. I think we had about 29 billboards put up across Confederation. And I remember saying something at the convention about if the California division can put one up, every division can put one up. And I'm once again offering $500 to help put up at least one billboard this year. Got a little upgrade to it. I know we announced this back in probably November or December timeframe on Commander's Comments the first time, but we're also adding a couple extra months to this. If you can't get one up in April, I'll cover it through. You can put it up in May and June. Just get it up one of those months, April, May, or June. And that way we'll have coverage across the country. We, as the commander said, we have to get our name out there. We got to show these people we're doing something. The membership seemed to like the program last year and had a lot of comments about it, positive comments. They see we're actually doing something because, of course, we never do anything, but it's one of those things, like you said, get stuff in the newspaper, ads out there on the billboards. I've already know at least 3 divisions so far. Louisiana's already ordered some. Virginia's getting ready to order theirs. We've allotted up here up to $6,000 for billboards again this year. So that's probably good for about 8 billboards here.
Wow.
I heard, I saw Loy was in the chat. I heard that Arkansas was going to do one this year. And I heard a couple others were already looking at it. But gentlemen, I sent out an email today again with all the information. I also talked to our contact in Shreveport with Lamar, Miss Ara. She's all ready for it. And we have the original billboard from last year. Moose, can you throw that up so they can see that again? See, it's honoring Confederate history, Sons of Confederate Veterans. And that's the landing page that we use, scv-info.org. It's easier to find out how to join and stuff. It'll take you directly to it and say, instead of having to navigate our website. So, okay, you can pull that back down, Moose. That billboard there is generic. It's good for any time of the year. So Lamar has that already, so you don't have to have the setup fees and stuff with that. Use that billboard, gentlemen. You can get a billboard for the $500 somewhere with Lamar in your state. It might not be the highest traveled road, but they'll tell you how many views you get and everything. And that email I sent out today has all the information and everything you need to know about that. If you don't have Lamar near you or don't want to use Lamar, any of the other billboard companies, go through them, see what kind of deal you can work out. You know, copy that picture there. You can download that and from the email and send it to them and say that you'd like something like that. But we'd like to see these billboards spread out across the Confederation just to get our name out there again. Especially like Donnie's already talked about some of the stuff we're going through now, and both sides are giving us a fit. Well, here in Virginia, we're really getting a fit now, and we're working on those situations up here. And I don't know if y'all heard, but our esteemed senator from Virginia, Tim Kaine, wants to remove Robert E. Lee's name from Arlington House. So that's another issue we're dealing with up here. And we're going to try to spread the billboards across the state here and remind them that we're still here and we exist and we're not going away anytime soon. But if anybody's got any questions, they can call me. They can call Bobby Herring in Louisiana. Chuck McMichaels helps out with this. They can call me, email, or Miss Kenyon at Lamar. And if you need any more information, and they'll definitely help you at Lamar. So let's get on this, guys. I mean, you got all the way till June, through June. Let's get these billboards up. I mean, it's free money. I'm giving you $500. Put one up. Use it. Get one up, please.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. All the work that you're doing to get this accomplished. And like he said, every division you're offered $500 from the lieutenant commander's retention and recruitment fund to help you pay. You can either use that money and buy a cheap one somewhere, or you could add another $5,000 to $1,000 to it and get a nice one for a month. Whatever you want to do, but get in touch with him and tap him. Let's go. We can provide a lot, but we can't put them up. The camps and the divisions, you're just going to have to jump in there and do it. I wish we had a full-time staff at headquarters, well paid, that could reach out and do all of this. All they have to do is call up you and say, where do you want it? But we don't have that. So one day we will. One day we will if we keep doing what we're doing now. And one of the things that we will be doing is I will put together a template for some yard signs and get those out to the division commanders so that the division commanders can then create your own yard signs and get them in your division. Like I said, the yard signs are good for your yard. You can use them at gun shows. You can use them at festivals. You can put them on at intersections of road. I'm still amazed at the one that I put out. And I put out 2 or 3 others that didn't last that long, but this one has lasted. It'll be almost 9 months by the time the new ones come out. So I'm very pleased with it. So these things do help. And remember, a billboard will not generate new members. An ad you run on the radio will not generate new members. Putting a letter to the editor will not generate new members in and of itself. But these things are have a cumulative effect. It's one thing after the other, because right now a lot of people hear only negative things about the South and the Confederacy. So, they're not going to walk up to you and say, no, I don't believe in that. What they'll do is they say, oh, well, I might have an ancestor. I'll get back with you later. Well, that means I'm too afraid to get involved. What we've got to do is be bold, put our name out, the truth about Southern history and heritage, and therefore these people will not be hesitant to join the SCB. So I really want to encourage you to move forward. And I want to thank Bobby Herron. Thank you, Bobby, for what you've done, Louisiana division commander, and thank you for helping getting this thing started and your continuous help that you're doing now. And especially a big thank you to our Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief for running with this ball as well as he's done. I appreciate it so much. Okay, enough said about that. I'm going to jump down, Ron, to number 6 so we can get with Jason, because I know that he don't have much to say, and I'm going to go ahead and let him say his little bit, and then I'll get back to you, if that's okay with y'all. Jason, give us a little update on the Forest Plaza, if you don't mind, sir.
Yes, sir, I will, and thank you, Commander, and I will keep it brief. Gentlemen,
No, he won't.
How about brief for me? How about that? We've had a little bit of slowdown because of the holidays, and then when we started back for the beginning of the year, y'all know the weather that happened, and some of the men we've had working on this, getting the drawings, they've lost power. They went days, close to a week, that they weren't able to get in to get this stuff worked on, to get the drawings completed. But we do have drawings and we do have schematics, and I'm going to pull up one here. And we'll talk about, and this is a 7-page one, but I've only pulled up the schematic to show what we have here now. You're looking from a bird's eye view, looking down. Bottom left, you'll see the museum, and you're going to walk out to where the Looney Family Cemetery is, and going out to the future site of the Nathan Bedford Forrest burial site, him and his wife, Mary Ann Montgomery. That's the big box that you see out ahead. Where the circle is, when you first come out of the museum and you turn right, you do not take the yellow brick road and go up to historic Elm Springs. You stay on the sidewalk, make a right, walk to Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee is the round circle that you see on in that corner there. That's the Robert E. Lee statue. That's where the walkway is going to start, and it's going to go out toward. You can see it just to the left of the Looney Family Cemetery. And then you see it make a little bit of a turn, and it starts going to, you see a circle there, that is going to the Forest Flag site. There was a flag that was flying, that's been flown at the Forest Park in Memphis. We have the pole. We're going to fly the Forest flag there. And where that little turn is, and you start walking to where the flag site is going to be, that's the Looney Family Cemetery within the square that you see there. And just to the side of them is where Simeon Cummins, who was on the CSS Alabama, that was where he was interred there in 1994. And in that area is where we'd like to put the H.K. Edgerton Memorial Bench. And it would be right there around the flagpole. So you're going to see that there. Then you just walk on to the burial site. Now, remember, it is 50 feet wide, 75 feet deep. You're going to notice the walkway is coming up behind it. The walkway will continue both to the right and the left. But you will notice an entrance that is coming up on the right side that is for handicap accessible, so people can come up and actually come up to the site. So right now, where we are is we have people coming this next week. We'll have the ground people on site. We already have drawings of that. If you've been there, you know the slope of the ground. We're having to put in French drains because we want to make sure water does not come into the vaults and water does not run anywhere underneath the plaza and start washing out anything underneath the plaza. So we're going to be putting in French drains. You'll notice where the flag site is, where there's a big circle drawn around there. And that's to show that if the flagpole falls, people say, well, if the flagpole falls, is it going to cause any damage? Where it is, if it falls, it could hit the Looney Family Cemetery, but it could not hit the forest burial site in the plaza. But anybody has any questions about that, then you'll notice a walkway going from leaving the Forest Plaza site headed up to the Yellow Brick Road and to the house. All of that is going to be pavers. So if you've joined the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, the walkway leaving the Robert E. Lee statue, all of that's going to be pavers going out there. So we already compiling that list. We're in the process of getting the list compiled, double checked, and being sent so we can go ahead and start the pavers coming in. Now, we're not going to be able to put these down after the building has done. That'll be one of the last things that we do. But we can go ahead and have them on site so people will know that they're there. Does anybody have any questions about this? I'm expecting this project, now that the weather has broken just a little bit, for this to get ramped up and be going. Yes, sir, Mr. Kennedy, and let me take this down.
Yeah, even though we can't get the pavers down, obviously, we can get the videos going, I believe. And you might want to tell them about that, the PowerPoint slide. Go ahead and tell them about that.
Well, yes, sir, and I want to thank you for bringing that up. We have already, like I said, we've been compiling this list. We're getting it together for the book so we can get it to Frank. But Mr. Ron Kennedy, yes, sir, 21st century.
It's the 21st century, folks. You can still join.
So if you've joined the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, you will be on that walkway. So your paver will be on that walkway. So join the 21st Century Confederate Heroes and go to the SCV website to find about it. Now, the video that he was talking about, if you've been to the National Confederate Museum and you walk in the front door, that vapor lock room is what I call it, on the left, just as you go in, we're going to have a TV on the wall. And if you join the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, you're going to be able to create a video that is going to play in a continuous loop, one after another. And you can tell what you wanted to talk about in this video. It could be yourself, it could be your Confederate ancestor, it could be your family. And this video is going to play on a constant loop. So we're already compiling that information. Already spoken with Adam about getting a TV and getting all of this put together. So you'll be able to come there. Now, for 21st Century Confederate Heroes, you will get a paver. You will have this video that's going to play on the constant loop. Plus, you're going to be in the book. Right now, you know, we were shooting for 500. We do not have 500 yet. We're in the 370 range right now from the list that I'm compiling. So this is going to be ramping up very quickly because as soon as we start breaking ground and we start doing the work there on the plaza and people start seeing the pavers come in and see what we're going to be doing, I'm hoping this project will take off. And we need to get at least another 100 to 125 pavers bought. If we can get 120, 125 of them, we will be able to complete the first book. Remember, we were talking about doing 1,500 to start with. That would be 3 books. Well, right now we're closing in on the 1. So if you want to be part of the first group, now I want to go ahead and say this. When I'm putting the pavers down, they're going to be as they come in, and it is going to be from the back of the plaza heading back toward the National Confederate Museum. So if you come in early, you're going to be from there back, and I'm going by the dates that they come in. when you paid your money and you sent it in, we're going to be running back. So those of us that have joined, oh, and by the way, you get this nifty piece of giggle right here. Okay. And you will get this, and it is hard to lose, but it can happen. When you find it, it's a great relief. But you'll get this, but you will be able to. So the ones that are coming in now, you're going to be somewhere around the flagpole. So, gentlemen, we have a whole lot more pavers that we need to be so, but you have to be 21st century Confederate heroes to be on the walkway from Robert E. Lee to the Forest Equestrian statue.
Wow.
Are there any more questions on that?
No, and I appreciate. Listen, I'm gonna say heads up to. There's two people that have made this 21st century effort possible. Ron Kennedy has done yeoman's work getting this going and keeping it going. But we could have done nothing without Jason. Jason, I appreciate you so much. And Jason is very much involved in pushing the Confederate Legion effort. I swear that boy got his fingers in more pies than I can eat. So he is really an asset to the Confederation, and I appreciate both Ron and Jason. You can ask my wife or his wife, just about every morning or afternoon, I'm calling Ron or he's calling me, and we're working on SCV stuff. Just give you an example. I've just put in the mail today letters to all the division commanders. Now, this is division commanders according to the list we have at headquarters. If it goes to the past division commander, it's not my fault. It's your fault for not updating the people at headquarters. I know Louisiana has not updated because I know who is the current commander and I know who's the past commander. I had the past commander's address and I just sent it to him because he's a good man and he'll get this information out. But what I sent to him was a letter, and Ron and I will talk about this in a few minutes. A Dixie Defender, a local issue Dixie Defender, and information about that, as well as the upcoming Stephen D. Lee Institute. So we're doing stuff all the time, and we're trying to push our narrative ahead of everybody else. So with that said, I'm going to ask Ron, if you don't mind, to give us a little information about the Dixie Defender, the special issue Dixie Defender.
Well, anyone that the division commander should get a copy by the early next week anyway. Yes. And it's for Union Parish.
You're right.
The folks up there did. And by the way, it was named Union Parish before the war. Okay?
Amen. Thank you.
It was back when the Union was honest. But anyway, that's a different story. But the idea is that you do a Dixie Defender that's specific for your community, and you talk about the troops that came from your area, notable people from your area, and you do up a Dixie Defender. And if you want to do it, I think it now costs about 75 to 80 cents each to do it. But if you'll put one together, you can have one to give out at gun shows. You can mail them to your elected official. And if you really want to get I'm gonna throw this out and make a trouble for the commander in chief, but and for Paul Grambling, but and I'm sorry, Paul Graham. You're going to there's a possibility of taking this Dixie Defender and going to your local weekly newspaper and paying them to insert it in the newspaper, and it goes out to everybody in your community. Now that's an ad. You have to pay for it. And since the Sons of Confederate Veterans, since we paid off the mortgage, we've got some extra money we can use for running ads. And if you don't have anything else to spend it on at National HQ, if the people in St. Tammany Parish have their Dixie Defender and they want to put it in the local weekly newspaper, maybe the headquarters would match the cost. So there's a lot of things we can do, and if you did that in every camp across the Confederation, you can get a lot of good information out. Now, if you want information about how to do a Dixie Defender for yourself, email the Commander-in-Chief. He's got the specifications, the number of words, the number of pictures, the ads that go in it, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a great way to promote your local community. Let's see. I believe that's all I've got on Dixie Defender.
Well, that's great. That's exactly what I want. I want people to understand. You can really contact if you're interested. Now, I'm holding up. There we go. I'm holding up the Union Parish Dixie Defender. Now, like I said, this is specifically for Union Parish, but it talks about a gentleman, George Washington Bolton from Union Parish, who ended up after he was a member of the Company E 12th Louisiana. He fought in the war. He was an honorable man. He defended the South. He loved the South. After the war, he came back and he ended up being, from a farm boy, he ended up being head of the Louisiana Bankers Association, first president of the Louisiana Baptist Association, a merchant, and a speaker. He was Speaker of the House for the state of Louisiana. This is a Union Parish man, a Confederate veteran. And we also have a story about Elijah J. Ward, who was the namesake for the local Farmerville, Louisiana SCV camp, talking about his contribution to building a better community after the war. You want these articles to talk about what our veterans did, even in some harsh condition, to build a great community, and that people should be proud of what they did. And in this Dixie Defender, you'll see also a full-page article or ad for the Confederate Museum. So it lets people at the local level, let's say you're at Timbuktu, Tennessee, in a local camp. Well, they may now only see the SCV as a few people who meet down at Joe's Barbecue once a month. They think, well, that's all there is to it. Well, when you come up with this Dixie Defender, they're going to say, oh, no, we had citizens here that these guys are memorializing. They're wonderful people. Plus, they're part of a big organization. Well, they've got a big, nice antebellum home, a nice museum. My goodness. And there's QR codes in here that they can listen to our videos. It's great information about who we are as an organization, and it will actually help build our organization. So I really want to push that. Now, one quick thing I want to go over, we're running a little bit up against the clock, but I do want Ron, if you don't mind, mention something about our Chief of Heritage operation, his Keyboard Gorillas campaign, and what the benefit of such an idea is.
Well, the idea is, and Paul had a great idea. He wanted to come up with, look, we have something come up and we want to get the message out in a hurry. Well, here, if we had 1,000 members that would sign up for this, then Paul or whoever the next Chief of Heritage Operation is can send the information out to them. The keyboard warriors can sit there on their keyboard and in their pajamas in the middle of the night and send this information out to different people. And it would have a tremendous impact over and above just me sending out, one person sending something out. So, by all means, go to the Confederate Legion website. There's a place you can sign up to be a keyboard warrior. It's a great way. It doesn't cost you anything. You already own your keyboard. You're already on the internet. You're looking for something exciting to do to help the cause, and this is a way you can do it. And now, in addition to that, I also want to mention the fact that we still have plenty of, not plenty, but several of the Confederate veterans. If your camp wants to send 5 of them out, we'll send you 5. I've got a stack of them right here. I can mail it to you. I'm doing it because Paul's got to work for a living, and I'm retired. Donald said I didn't have anything else to do. So anyway, I'll send them out to you. So if your camp wants to have free Confederate veterans, 5 of them, I'll send them to you, and you can then send it to your local elected official. I also include a letter, a cover letter that you can sign. It explains who you are and why they're getting this wonderful journal, wonderful magazine. And you can send it to elected officials. You can send it to prospective members, people that you know are interested in the South. A great freebie that the Confederate Legion is paying for, so take advantage of it.
Thank you, Ron. And again, I want to thank you and, of course, Jason, who helps to make this possible. This is how we reach out and touch people and influence people. It's not one little item. It's, as I said in the beginning of the program, these little things that we do and continue to do has a cumulative effect. And this is definitely one of those things we want to do. And I'm going to give you a quick example of how this makes a difference. Several months ago, the legislature in Georgia had a bill being presented that would adversely affect Stone Mountain. Jason, as he does so often, he is head of our one-click politics campaign. Jason and myself and a couple other people from, I think, Tim Pilgrim from Georgia, we got together and said, let's get this campaign going to the governor of Georgia and letting the governor of Georgia know that not only do people in Georgia not want this monument, a Confederate memorial change, but people all across the South don't want that to happen. We had to really work getting all of our division commanders and everybody organized, and they started sending in letters through our one-click politic. If you don't know about that, we need to talk about that sometime, but it's a very simple way that you can contact your local elected official, or in this case, the governor of Georgia. Well, the governor started receiving emails saying, don't harm the Confederate monument there in Georgia. He received it from Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, Virginia, and then by George, he was getting messages from Washington, Oregon, Idaho, California, Michigan, my goodness, New Jersey. You see, we have compatriots, fellow Confederates all across the United States, outside of the South. And when that governor started seeing this coming from, quote, Yankees, people outside of the old South, it made an impression. And with keyboard guerrillas, is what Paul was calling it, keyboard guerrillas, we would take that information, send it to Paul. Paul would reach out to his keyboard guerrillas, such as me, and say, send this message out on your contact list. Well, I have a contact list. One of them is my Facebook account. I post it on my Facebook account. And any other group that I'm part of, I can send it out to them. Hey, it would take me about maybe 5 minutes to do that, but the impact is tremendous. We need people who are willing to do that. So Paul Graham has done a great job in bringing this forward, and we need at least 1,000 guerrillas out there and that's what this is, like a guerrilla campaign in a battle, in a war. So that's what this is all about. So anything else on that, Ron, that I need to cover, you think? Jason, you have anything to say about the one-click politic?
Yes, sir. If you'd like for me to speak on the one-click politics, you're very correct. It's very easy. All you need to do is just tell us what you need done. And you don't even, we would like for you to wordsmith it, but don't feel like it's something that you need to do. But because we can create this campaign, send it out, tell us who you need it to go to, and we can do this. It's really very simple, and we know that it has been effective. We have been told that it has made some people around the water coolers at these big offices start having conversations, because you're not going to, if you send it to the senator's not going to see it. Somebody in his office is going to see it, or her office is going to see it. But after they get 40 of them, or 400 of them, or 4,000 of them, that's when they start having these conversations at the water cooler. Hey, are you getting all of this from the Sons of Confederate Veterans, or from, and it does make a conversation happen.
Good. And that's what we want. We want the political establishment to know, number one, we're out there. Number two, we're fighting the good fight. And number three, we have the ability to make their life miserable if they continue to vote against our interests. So that's what we want to do. Now, one final thing I want to show, Harrison, if you'll throw up the picture of Rosemont that I sent you. Ron and I had the pleasure, it's been about 6 weeks ago, to visit Rosemont. Now, this is the boyhood home of President Jefferson Davis. The gentleman between Ron and myself is Percival Beecroft. Brother Beecroft, he is a life member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And when he was a young man back in the 50s or maybe early 60s, he saw a picture of Rosemont on a UDC magazine and became just enthralled with it. He bought this building behind. And Ron, tell him a little bit, what did that building look like when Percival bought that building?
Well, I saw it when Percival was just starting to rework it, and it looked like a shack that was falling down. It was such a shame. But when you realize how old it was, then you realize, well, there's a lot of structure here, and I was allowed to crawl up under it. You go up in the attic and look, and even found a place where they pulled some wall boards off where Jefferson Davis, when he was a young kid, had scrawled some stuff and put his name on it. So, but it's the walkway wasn't there, or it was covered up. It was quite a mess. But they've done a wonderful job preserving that historical site.
And I bring this up because just like the first White House of the Confederacy, just like Beauvoir, this is Rosemont in Woodville, Mississippi. It's about 30 minutes south of Natchez, 30 minutes north of St. Francisville. St. Francisville is where President Davis's first wife, Sarah Knox Taylor, is buried. A very historic site, and they do. Show me the next picture I've got up. This gentleman here is, hang on one second, is Jerome Lee. Jerome Lee and Ron. Jerome is a docent for the building there. He is a 100% Confederate, proud of his Southern heritage, will take no lip from anybody that disrespects President Davis, his family, or as he says, our country. So this gentleman right here, Mr. Jerome Lee, has probably done more good than all the books that I could write about the African-American influence in the war between the states. So he is really, he was a joy to talk to. He and Percival Beecroft, without Mr. Beecroft's effort, we would have lost Rosemont. So these places we need to visit. We need support. We need to tell them thank you for preserving our history and our heritage, and we need to support them. And talking about supporting each other, I'm going to reach over here and grab my Confederate Veteran magazine. If y'all notice on the last issue of the Confederate Veteran magazine, there's an ad in there. That ad is for the United Daughters of the Confederacy. We are swapping ads. They're running our ads for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. We're running their ads for the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Do you realize what this means, gentlemen? We are working together for a common cause. And for a long time, we have been not so eager to work together. And I have just been delighted. And Jason is also, he's worked hard with the, who was the President General, Jason, when you first started working with the UDC?
Jenny Wadowski.
Wadowski, yes. And she's a jewel. And right now,
Wonderful.
Hadaway, Julie Hadaway is the Hardaway is the commanding president general of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. We're working together with them. We have a common cause, and I am just so proud to be able to work with organizations like that. And there are others that are working with us, providing grants for our museum. I mean, we are proud to stand together and work together, not in opposition. The old French in the French Parliament, the leftists have a saying. Ron, do you remember the saying that they had?
Yeah, there are no enemies on the left.
There you go. Yeah, the radical, the leftist said, I have no enemies on my left. All their enemies were on the right. You and I, as Southerners, we have no enemies in the Southern movement. Now, there are people that I'd rather stay away from, yeah. There's people that I'd rather associate with, yes. But I have no enemies in the Southern movement. I have friends, I have associates, and I have some friends I like to keep at an arm's length. So that being said, I'm encouraging the SCB to continue to work together with like-minded organizations. Let's put our best foot forward. Let's get our narrative out. As I've said so many times, and I'll say ad nauseum, if we don't tell our story will be told by our enemies. Your children's children will grow up not only despising Southern history, they are going to hate you because you were a defender of what they've been taught was racism, Nazism, fascism, evil of all sorts, and they cannot understand why their grandparents was involved in such an organization. That will happen, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't get busy and promote our narrative. We're not taking back the narrative anymore. We're pushing our narrative. So with that said, gentlemen, Tony, if you have any last words you'd like to say.
I'm good. Get a billboard, guys. Get a billboard.
There you go. Hey, Tony's just glad he don't have to go outside and shovel snow. I know what he's doing.
I'm just glad the ice is melted.
Ron, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Jason?
No, sir. Thank you for allowing me to be on and to work on the things you're allowing me to. Thank you.
We could not get it done without you and Ron, and I appreciate y'all so much. And a big shout out to the young guys such as Harrison Daws there. Harrison, y'all are the wave of the future when we depend on you. God bless you. And I'm throwing it back to you to take us out of here.
Thank you, Commander. Make sure to share this episode out with your camps, brigades, divisions, armies. Let's get this information out there to all our members as quickly as possible. Like it, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you Monday for another episode of SCV Chat at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time. Y'all have a good night and stay Southern.
Good night.